Okay, here's the next section that I pulled down, and it's still hanging from the ceiling. It looks like the mold is turning, so the water damage is turning. Looks like there's still some. We'll go one panel over again, but it looks to be turning towards the cabinets there. If I come up here, ladder, I cut a seam in this wall because we do have mold and water damage going straight in towards that wall over these cabinets. Over here, same thing. We got water. So I'm just going to pull out that panel, but I have to first pull off this cabinet here. We could have water damage going into another room. We'll have to wait and keep pulling until we find out. And this here is indicating that there's still some water going that way. I'll yank off the next section and see what we got, but for right now, looks like the water has turned towards the cabinets. Here's the next section of sheetrock. This stayed up there and I stopped seeing rusty nails. So no more water in this section. Over in this section here, where that light is, I accidentally ripped it all the way down. But here it is. So the water is not in this area. We still have water damage over here. So it is heading off in the direction right in there. And that's the next piece that I need to take off. So we were looking for the end of the water damage to see where the water was going. Wherever it goes to the lowest spot and then it will drip. If it doesn't drip along the entire way, which we do show it going the water straight for these cabinets over here. Again, here's the water damage on the floor where the cabinets were. There's water damage up there. That's where the water is still going. That's where the mold trail is still going anyways. So it's pretty telling as far as water and when you have a mold trail where the water is sitting for extended amounts of time, not just a week or 2 weeks, but to grow mold that is, you know, this thick, that is mold growing on there, and it's all dry now. So, and it was a while ago. It was a while ago, and it's been sitting like this for quite a while as well. So, all right, pulled on these two. I cut it. Here's the pieces. You can see the notch right there for the can light. Okay, so there's nothing really over by the can light. Here's where the water seems to have ended. The trail seems to have ended. This piece was shoved up in the corner there. And this line here is where it was on that, was that a 2x10 or a 2x12? Right there, 2x10. Okay. So we've reached the end of the water damage, which means all the water would be sitting in this area. Let me back up so we can see it. This is the total area where we found water. And you can see on the studs where the bulk of the water damage, or the bulk of the water was sitting based on the bulk of the mold still up there. Here's the moldy ceiling again, and it looks like we had the bulk of the water concentrated in these areas here. So it would have been leaking through the ceiling there. Now, I don't know where the low spot in the ceiling is, so I would assume that the water finds the low spot and this would be the low spot and it would drip through. There was also a seam that, let me zoom in here. This seam here is where two pieces of sheetrock come together. That seam was bubbling. We can see it in prior video. It's actually where more than likely the water was actually dripping out. That would be a low spot where it can get between the two pieces of sheetrock, the water and drip. Based on where we found the damage, that drip would have ended right about here on this stud, which if we follow it down, is right where I'm standing. So we would have had water here. And unfortunately this is a mess, but the floor is actually sloped going off in that direction. And here's our water damage. In fact, let me move this, and here's our water damage coming in the back of the wall. I did see this spot here. This is a water damage spot. Okay. You can see the line. That's actually right below that water there, okay, which would be again from the same ceiling leak, which again is from this toilet. This is the bottom of the toilet and the seal was leaking. So we have water going all the way to the cabinets where we found water damage, and to the floor over here where we found water damage on the floor. The other side of the kitchen also had water damage, completely different. That was from a leaky sink. So this is clean, fresh water leakage. Over here, all this damage and all the water on these cabinets over here, that's sewer water. Okay, that is toilet water. That has everything that you would put in a toilet mixed in with the water. And that's what all this is as well. This damage is all toilet water damage, used toilet water damage. Let me specify that because it's the seal underneath the toilet that does not see fresh water, it only sees used water. So all of this is used toilet water damage. All of this in the ceiling is used toilet water damage. And of course the cabinets over here and the water damage on the floor is toilet water sewer, essentially. Okay. So I've reassembled the damaged ceiling on the floor so we can get a visual of what was going on. Over here we have the original hole that we put in the other day to determine that there's the leak. Okay, that's our original hole. You can see water damage over here, water damage here, and then it follows a path. The water sits and water goes everywhere, but the bulk of it is over here. The bulk of the water damage is over here in this part of the kitchen. It hits this truss, which is this one here with the bulk of the mold on it that I haven't cleaned off yet, and it shoots off towards the wall, in fact towards the cabinets. Because there is a seam here, right about here in the ceiling, going all the way up to here. We had a tape line that was coming away from the sheetrock, which is, you know, I saw it when we, it's an indication that there's water underneath, something is separating the tape. So the water is filling in this area here and then going down into this crack and leaking onto the floor. We do know that that is what was going on. The tape and coming down from the ceiling has water underneath it. That's what separates it. We also have water going off in that direction along that truss and to the wall. It is soaking through, or it could be draining off completely behind this wall here, and we could have water damage in this wall. The point is that this water was known to be leaking in this kitchen, and here's all the damage that we were told. All the water damage was repaired. Here's water damage. Here's evidence of long-standing water. We have damage in the kitchen from water everywhere. And here it is, plain as day, coming from the ceiling, which they knew about.